All right, everyone. Eric Hayden here with the National Weather Service in Morehead City. This is our winter weather update for the potential for snow and also cold weather for much of the week. We're going to take a step back. I know we get a lot of questions on how much snow are we going to get, when is it going to snow, when are temperatures dropping below freezing. If you've seen our briefings before, you know where I'm going with this. One of the single best things we do is the hourly weather forecast, because let's face it, we live in Eastern North Carolina and the weather varies drastically from Hatteras Island to Duplin County to Pitt County. Things change rapidly across our area, and the best way for you to get specifics on timing for DOT, schools, or if you're just a community member is that hourly weather graph. So I'm going to show you a little bit more in depth. Two ways you can get this, and one of them is certainly our website, weather.gov/Morehead City. Another one I want you to be aware of is weather.gov/forecast points. This is going to be in our briefing. We have a hyperlink, or you can write it down, weather.gov/forecast points. Then you just zoom into the area that you're concerned with, click anywhere on the map, and then as you scroll down, very, very nice graph of what's going to happen for the next week. When are the highest temperatures, coldest temperatures, minimum wind chill. So you can quickly see we're expecting low wind chill values and cold temperatures this week. And then if you scroll down just a little bit more, if you scroll from left to right, you can see exactly when the snow is going to pick up. So in this case, this is down in southern Carteret County. Yes, 20–30% chance for some snow showers Tuesday afternoon, but by far after sunset toward midnight, that's when chances go way up. How much snow? This particular area, about a ½ inch. You can see 2/10 of an inch times 2. So weather.gov/forecast points, you will not be disappointed. Tremendous amount of information there. If you want to do it the old school way, you can always go to weather.gov/MHX or Morehead City. Same type of concept. Click anywhere on the map that you're interested in. Text forecast will come up, and this is kind of just a generic overview. But if you keep scrolling down the page, the hourly weather graph, it's kind of an older version in terms of it may not be as easy to read as what I just showed you with forecast points, but you can clearly see snowfall amounts. Again, ½ inch, I just picked Carteret County, and this brown is precipitation potential increasing rapidly Tuesday evening. Maybe hard to see on your screen. I'll zoom in just a little bit, but I just want to, reinforce that if you go to weather.gov/Morehead City or weather.gov/forecast points, you're going to get a lot of crucial details that are important to your community, and they're going to be a lot more specific than what we can do with a briefing. This is our briefing. This is our overview to give you a highlight on some timing, but again, please use the website for more specifics. This has been a very complicated forecast for a storm. It starts 7 days ago, 10 days ago. I was getting all the texts from friends and family. What about 5, 10, 15 inches of snow? That's what our, weather apps are saying and different things. This is why we stress not to pay any attention to snowfall forecasts beyond about 48 hours. It's not that we're withholding information. There's so many subtle things that can change and tweaks, and we continue to make those tweaks here within about 30 hours right now. So please focus on official sources. Don't fall for some of that other things that you see, and then that will help us with our forecast going forward to keep that consistent message. Want to focus a little bit on the timing and kind of break it down. As far as snowfall goes, Tuesday night, very early Wednesday morning for accumulating snow. So yes, some snow showers Tuesday afternoon, especially say Hatteras Island down through the Crystal Coast, Onslow County, but anything impactful will be after sunset Tuesday evening. And temperatures will rapidly be falling below freezing Tuesday night. So we do think every flake will pretty much stick to the road and also any surfaces. It's going to be very, very cold. And you'll notice that while the snow is ending first thing Wednesday morning, and in fact, if you don't wake up early enough, some of you may not see it falling from the sky. The rest of the week, we don't anticipate any snow, but still hazardous travel because we're going to have temperatures barely getting to freezing Wednesday and Thursday. So similar to 2018, not that cold and maybe not that long lasting, but the snow will probably stick around, whatever falls because of those cold temperatures. Not concerned with ice, maybe Thursday night, a second system. We'll get to that when we get to it, but this is going to be all snow, this first event. Black ice, anything that melts Wednesday or Thursday, temperatures near freezing with that strong sun, will melt some of it, but anything wet, overnight will refreeze. So treat anything wet in the coming days as ice. And then cold is really the biggest impact starting tomorrow and then peaking Wednesday night into Thursday. In fact, that may be the biggest impact for the majority of the area. We'll start first with that. Low temperatures in the teens tomorrow morning. Not historic, not record-breaking, not any, not as cold as we had back in 2018, where we had 5 to 7 days with temperatures in the single digits, even below zero. But it's the prolonged nature we're concerned with. Day after day after day, may have some issues with frozen pipes. If you're outside, certainly bundle up. When you factor in that wind tomorrow morning, single digits to around 10. So again, these are values that are low enough. You don't want to be outside with exposed skin. So bundling up, dressing in layers. And don't forget about the pets. When you have temperatures that cold, certainly want them inside out of the elements. We'll move on to the snow amount. That's what most folks are probably most interested in. If you look at this graphic, a subtle change from last night or yesterday's first forecast, but it's only a few tenths of an inch. But the way our map colors things in, once we're below that 1 inch threshold, it's going to say less than an inch. So for most of the area up to the north and west, Greenville, west of Highway 17, a dusting to an inch is certainly a reasonable forecast. As you get down to southern Onslow, Carteret County, and definitely the Outer Banks, a dusting to an inch is still the most likely scenario. But if we're going to see some heavier amounts, 2-3 inches, that is on the table still in that red circled area. So please keep that in mind. Our forecast hasn't changed a ton. Trying to get that messaging has been extremely difficult, given that we have been talking about this in the community now for better than a week. So dusting to an inch, that's still a very reasonable forecast, but we are concerned, as we've mentioned, east of Highway 17, we could have some locally higher amounts. I'll give more specifics on that in a second. This bullet right here, accumulating snow likely on roads. Again, that's Tuesday night into early Wednesday. And even though we're getting closer, check our update later today and then first thing Tuesday morning. We don't expect wholesale changes, but this is a fluid forecast, and there may be some subtle tweaks because now we're getting into the window with some higher resolution computer models and to make some changes. So we painstakingly drew this graph this morning to kind of highlight those areas that we're concerned with. Dusting to an inch, very reasonable, most likely scenario forecast. That looks very, very good. Up toward Greenville, I-95, those folks least likely that forecast is going to change. Can probably lock that one in. As you head farther to the east, as you get down toward New Bern, as you head toward Columbia, Jacksonville, there's a possible chance those amounts will be increased a little bit between now and tomorrow night. So keep that in mind. And the most likely area, if we're going to have more snow than what we currently have in the forecast, potential for heavier snow, some of the higher resolution models indicate this, that would be in that darker shading of blue. So near Jacksonville, and then especially south and east through the Outer Banks, some of the models indicating some higher potential snow. What does that mean? More than 2 or 3 inches of snow. So our official forecast is dusting to an inch, but we could see 2 or 3 inches or more, most likely in that dark shaded area. And that's something that we'll continue to kind of watch as the models come in this afternoon, if we need to make any changes later today or tomorrow. But dusting to an inch right now is a very good forecast. If we're going to have higher amounts, it is going to be in those dark shaded blue areas, and it's certainly in the realm of possibility in that inner tier, places like New Bern up through Columbia. Hopefully that map clarified some of the uncertainty. Usually as we get this close, we hope to have some better clarification, and we are seeing a trend that we will see snow across the area. Now we're just fine tuning the amounts. Once we get by the snow, Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning, it's all about the temperatures. Thursday morning is when the peak of the cold will be. Overnight lows, again, in the teens, not talking, historic or record breaking, but it's the Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, many, many hours of below freezing at night, where we could have some issues with the infrastructure, frozen pipes, and then also the refreezing of anything that's wet on the ground in terms of frozen snow that has melted during the day. As far as wind chills go, those will again be in the single digits Thursday morning. So again, just dress up if you've got to work outside, or if you're headed out to school or work. Wearing those extra layers is certainly a good thing. So to wrap things up, and then we'll turn it over to you for questions. We are now the day before, so this accuracy will continue to improve. Check back for updates. Don't anchor on one forecast. Help us out by sharing these forecasts. If we need to issue any headlines, that'll probably be later today or tonight. So make sure you have ways to get that. And then check on your neighbors. As we get this snow, we're not talking, you might say dusting to an inch, or in some places, maybe 2 or 3 in a worst case. Those don't sound like huge amounts, and they're certainly not. But we know the infrastructure we have down here in Eastern North Carolina, and a lot of times we're dealing with rain or other aspects of the forecast. This is going to be all snow, and it's going to be very, very cold. So we think that's going to have a higher impact because it will be sticking to the road and surfaces, where in past storms it has not. Dressing, we're in the cold or extreme cold category, so hat and gloves, extra layers, those are all good things. And I know a lot of you folks listening to this, you know this, but just help us out by sharing these messages with our community so they know that they are prepared. A little housekeeping, later this afternoon, we expect to do another PDF update that will be provided to the website and the email list by 4 o'clock. We will do another webinar, same time tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. We like that time frame because it gives us a chance to look at some new model information that has come in and kind of give you a hint on some changes that may be occurring with the afternoon forecast. And I mentioned those links, weather.gov/MHX or /Morehead City, and the weather.gov/forecast points. Those are some of the single best places you can get information, especially on specifics as well.